Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Pretty big classic today. We're going to learn how to do Joan Jett's and the Blackhearts version of I Love Rock and Roll. So this is actually a cover song that they did. Some people don't actually know that, including me, until Wikipedia taught me this morning that it was. So when you put this together, it really kind of sounds best when you have two guitarists. We have Ricky Byrd, who's playing all the lead guitar stuff, and basically what I was doing at the beginning of the video was really what he was doing. He was the one that was adding that little bend in there. Joan is actually playing it up here. Without that bend. So by itself, without that little bend in there, it kind of doesn't sound quite like it. I actually think it sounds best to put them two together if you have like one guitarist in your band. So I'll talk about that too. If there's like just one guitarist in your band, it's usually better to play Joan's parts, but throw that bend in there as well too. So kind of go back and grab what he was doing. All right, so we'll talk about that in standard tuning here. Now, before I get into the lesson, please subscribe to the channel, all that good business. It really helps YouTube think that more people want to see guitar tutorial channels. I don't know if you noticed, but they're all going downhill. Everybody just wants to, the guitar channels on YouTube have nothing to do with tutorials anymore. So I don't know, it's not educational anymore, but if you guys actually still want to learn stuff on the guitar and songs and music, subscribe. Keep helping us keep this kind of side of YouTube guitar community alive. And if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube and keep me doing this, my Guitar Academy is the way to go. And you're going to see a link to that in the description. Free trial by clicking that link, and you'll have full access to all of my courses. They'll teach you how to do all this stuff. You won't need schmucks like me transcribing music for you. You'll be able to do it on your own. There's lessons there on theory, technique, improvisation, ear training. There's things for courses for complete beginners even. I'm there every Saturday with a live stream so you can ask me questions in real time and you get personalized support from me beyond that. So please go check it out. All right, so let's jump into the track. So a lot of these things are gonna have two parts to it. So including this intro. So this intro, what we're gonna start with is Ricky Byrd's part, because this one that has that bend in it, it's gonna give you a more kind of identifiable sound. The chords though sound, what Joan's doing are a little bit more apparent. So I don't know, let me show you. So basically Ricky Byrd is just doing this when you start. And then I'll go to the actual verse. All right, so we're gonna start with just this open E power chord. So it's the open low E string with the second fret on the A string. So you hit that twice, 2 times, so. And then here's that little bend here that Joan doesn't do on her guitar parts, but so it's being done by Ricky. So you're playing that 3rd fret on the low E string, and you slowly just kind of pull it downward a little bit. And then you take it over to the A power chord. So it's the same thing we just did, but over on the open A string and the 2nd fret there on the D. So this. So after you've done that A power chord twice, you're gonna do a B power chord. So that is the 2nd fret on the A and the 4th fret there on the D string. Hit that twice. You can use your pinky up here on top or the ring finger, whatever. And then you're gonna go back down to that bend at the 3rd fret on the low E string again. So we have this so far. So basically start over. And then this time, we're just gonna kind of wrap up the intro here, which is basically just hitting that B power chord once. That power chord sounds like a 2nd fret on the A string. Hit that, hit the open E string, and then hit that E power chord, so it goes. So all together for the intro for Ricky Byrd's part. And then you can kind of keep the intro going. This is kind of closer to the verse, but there's one more. There's another hit, like 2 hits on the low E power chord, and then we have this, and then the vocals come in. So that's kind of hitting that low E power chord, and then this fill you hear. You're gonna hear Joan doing that with it. But what Ricky's doing, he's up here at the 15th fret on the B string. He does a bend, and then at the 15th fret, a whole step bend, release it. So it's kind of time to go. So that's going to be a bend and release at the 15th fret there, to the 12th on the B, and then play 14, 12 on the G string. So. And then that goes to the verse. Now, what Joan's doing in the intro is the same chords, but same in power chord versions, but higher up the neck. So Joan's doing this. So like I said, that bend's not going to be there. It's only done on that second guitar part. But it looks like this. All right, so that right there, it's good. So it's instead of this low E power chord, it's the up, it's octave up. So open E still, but then the 7th fret there on the A and the 9th on the D. You hit that twice, 2 times. So it's the same rhythm. Same rhythm we did out here is going to match that, but it's this version of the E power chord. And then you're going to hear that bend that's down here at the 3rd fret there, but she doesn't do that. She's just going to go then and grab the A power chord off the 5th fret of the low E string. So the 5th fret on the low E, 7th on the A string. So we have this. So just take that up 2 frets now to the B power chord, and then start over. And then the second time to come up to this B power chord, you're just going to hit it once, and the open E, and then that E power chord that was up here. So it's just kind of when we did this, let's just hit this. So all together for her part in the intro so far. All right, and then we're gonna do her little fill there that when he does this, she does this. So that's gonna hit that E power chord that she was playing up at the 7th fret twice, and then that's gonna be 7-5 on the A, over to 7 on the low E string, then play 5-3. So whenever you hear that fill for the whole song, you got Joan's the one that's doing this lower part. And you hear Ricky Bird doing this. He's doing the fill with her, but up here. So anyway, so from there, we get to the actual verse. So in the verse, we have Ricky is doing this. And kind of like that, the guitar kind of rolls off there, and then like that pre-chorus right there, there's no guitar, it's just kind of a cappella. So anyway, so that's this. You're gonna hit that. That's kind of hits on the open E, like we did earlier, and then that same fill, and then back to the open E, and just over to the B. So that was that power chord at the 2nd fret of the A string, and then back to that fill again. All right, so then there's no more fills here for the rest of the verse. We just have the A power chord, that open A, which is that open A string and the 2nd fret there on the D. Back to the B twice. The open E power chord, so that's off the open E of the low E string, the 2nd fret of the A. And then back to that open A power chord. just hit that one once and let it ring. And then, like I said, you can just kind of roll the volume off. That kind of sounds better. So all together for like the verse for what Ricky Bird's doing. All right, so Joan during the verse is doing this. All right, actually, I think I promised in the previous thing when we were doing the intro to how to make it sound more like the recording with just one guitarist. Play Joan's riffs, but add that fill in there. And that's going to make it sound closer to the recording because her chords are kind of more important, the higher voiced ones, but that fill is very important too. So all throughout the song, really, that's all it's Joan's chords are probably the one that you're going to want to play. They sound the best by themselves, but to make it sound more realistic, whenever you hear that bend, go back and grab that bend, even though Joan's not actually doing that herself. It's the other guitar player doing it. All right, now, so for this verse here, that chord twice, and then that same fill that we did before, which just like 7/5 on the A, then 7/5/3 on the low E, and then back to the E power chord again. It's just gonna go with Ricky's parts, and then we have this. When you do the B power chord, 2 hits on that, then you go back and do that fill again. So we have this twice on the E. Back to the E, no fill, fill on the B. And then we go down to the A, no more fills. So it's just that A, B, E, and then back to the A, and let's let that ring. All right, so that's the verse. Those parts come together for to create the full part. Now, then we have the chorus, which looks like this one for Ricky's part. All right, so pretty similar to stuff we've already done that. So just an E power chord twice. I want to say twice, just two times of doing the 2 hits. And then that bend. So it's just kind of like the intro. And then the A power chord. E. So we have this. Back to the E. Back to the bend. And then the B power chord once, open E. And then the open E power chord, then hit it 2 more times. Or just 2 hits on it, and then that fill. And then we have Joan pretty much just doing the same thing with her, but her fills, obviously, she's not doing the bend, so we have this. It's that power chord up here, just like in the intro, kind of that 2 sets of 2 on that E power chord, and then the bend comes in, but that's being done by Ricky, and then the A power chord twice, E power chord twice, and then repeat. And remember, when we come back to do that B power chord at the end, just pick once, and then the open E, and then grab that E power chord. And once again, it'll sound better if you just have one guitar player to do that bend there. Just come back and grab it. All right, and then to end the chorus for her, 2 hits on that, E, and then then that same fill. So then it goes back into the same verse and the same chorus again, and then we get to Ricky Byrd's solo, which is a pretty well-known solo. This solo is actually over the verse, so that's what Joan's gonna be playing underneath it. All right, so let me play through Ricky's solo for you real quick. All right, so it kind of starts like you're starting the riff again, and then he goes. So that's just kind of like a slight pinch harmonic and slight bend and release at the second fret there on the low E string. So you pick it first, and then kind of a duo, slight little bend on it, and release down to the open E string. And then we get here, and this is the reason I'm not using a Les Paul like he's doing, because when he hits this chord, he then grabs the neck, does that whole Les Paul trick where you kind of push the neck and pull the bottom, whatever. Just kind of work, they try to break the neck in half. The reason I don't do it is I have a Les Paul, it's not mine, so I don't want to do it on it. Plus I suck at the technique anyway. So I spent the extra $50 and I got a guitar with a tremolo system on it. And I can just do the same effect without breaking anything. So that chord, those little, it's just the 6th fret there on the D, 7th on the G. And then just like a slight little bar dive. So most people are probably gonna use a little whammy bar. And then we start the, so that's gonna be sliding into the 11th fret there on the D string, and then play 9/11 on the G, and then do a bend at the 11th fret, and then grab, as you do that bend, you're gonna grab the 12th fret on that high E string, and then you do the bend again at the 11th fret, and then this time you're gonna grab the 12th fret on the B, not the high E string. So high E first. So. Then you pick them together, release it, kind of. Then you come down to a 9 on the G string, and then back to 11 on the D, and then you're gonna pick the two notes, the 9 on the G and the B, the 12 on the B. And then as you pick it, you're gonna hammer on the 11th fret there on the G. So it is. From there, we had this kind of slightly palmated, 2 hits on this 9th fret on the D string. Then hammer 9 to 11, over to 9 on the G. Hit that 12 on the B string while this is still ringing. And then we start this little descending run down the. So that starts here at the 9th fret there on the G string. So it's the same pattern. Pick it twice, pick it 3 times, then slide down. Then pick 3, and slide down. So you're just going down the E major scale. So we had this E, then slide down to 8. So 9, E, slide down to 8. So it's an E, slide down to a D sharp, but it's a 9 slide. Let's keep it consistent. 9, slide down to 8. Then 8 to 6. Then 6 to 4. 4 to 2. 2 to 1. So you hit that after, you're gonna pick that after you slide down to this 1st fret, pick that note twice, then come over to the 4th fret on the D. There's a slight pause on it. So this. And then 2 on the D, 4 on the A, and the open A power chord. So this. together the whole thing. All right, so then we, like I just had that kind of acapella pre-chorus again, and then we get to the outro chorus, which is basically just an extended chorus. They just do the chorus, but they just loop it around again. And after you've heard the chorus kind of done through twice, you hear this little fill coming over it. And what that is that's Ricky Byrd up here going. So those we were playing those notes a little bit in the solo. So it's just the 9th fret on the G and the 12th on the B string played together, kind of strummed. So if you had like somebody doing the chorus there's like kind of actually like 3 guitars going on there. So you're really gonna have to probably, if you're gonna be playing Joan Jett's parts, add that bend in there. So we have this. Keeps going. And now right there, after you're done it, repeated the riff twice, that's when you start hearing. So you're gonna want to keep that the whole. So that kind of does that until the very end of the. Kind of ends just on that, so that ending of the chorus. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a pretty simple song, but they kind of have 2 distinct guitar parts going on the entire time. And to really, if you want to play things with one guitar, you're really, like I recommend, like before, play Joan Jett's chords that she's doing, but add that bend in there that Ricky Byrd is doing in the riff, and that will kind of bring it all together to sound pretty close to the album. And then when you're doing the solo, you're screwed, because you need a rhythm guitar player, but whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.